your boy DJ Slugo, and we're right here with my man DJ D-Man in the beautiful studio of his, and he's co-signing the DJ Slugo co-signed album. So, DJ D-Man, if people wanted to ask you what was your contribution to the ghetto house world, you would say what?
Well, this is what it was. I wasn't the first one to do ghetto house and all that, and a lot of people was like making tracks before me, like you, Gerald, Tracks, Dion. I mean, I can go on and on, you know, Funk. And if I'm leaving any names out, forgive me, you know. So, you know, from the west end to the south side, from whatever. So the thing was, my contribution was when I started DJing and when I came into the game, I had started this mixtape volume, watching Bad Boy Bill do mixtapes, except I was doing it on, I say, / more urban type music, you know. I don't want to be disrespectful with the type of music, but you know, Bill, he's the man. He just wasn't doing our style of music, you know, as far as on the volume. But he was one of the first ones in this whole city to even do it in volumes. Because years ago, and I even did my research, they were only doing, DJs were only making a mix, recording a mix at a party, selling that one mix for like $50, $100, 200, but that's it. They never sold in volume. So it puzzled me when I started DJing in 1990 and stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't want to ever do volumes and I'm watching Bad Boy Bill. So basically what I did was I was taking our music, making volumes, and I was calling it hot mix, and I was putting it on little TDK, Maxwell tapes and stuff like that. And I was like, hot mix 1 by D-Man, hot mix 2, hot mix 5, hot mix 6, hot mix 7, hot mix 8. And so I had bumped into, I was doing these, I have up to volume number 8, and I walked into this record store called Soundtrack on Division, out west by Laramie, and I was always buying records. And the lady asked me, she said, do you do these things called mixtapes? So first she said, are you a DJ? I'm like, yes. Do you do these things called mixtapes? I'm like, yeah. And then she said, because you're always buying records. I'm like, yeah. And then she said, is it clean? I said, well, half of it's clean, the other half's not. So that's how I always did my tapes, and I always warn the kids and the parents that's about to get dirty on there. Then she said, well, this has to be all clean. And I'm wondering what she's talking about. And then she's like, you know, we would like to buy your tapes. And I said, well, they're $10. And it was like, that's how much you're selling for in the street? I'm like, yeah. She said, well, that's when I first found out about wholesale and retail. And she was like, well, we'll buy, instead of us buying one, we'll buy them in multiple. And why don't we just buy them for $5 each? So she like, can we get 10 of them? Like, if you make it clean. I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to go ahead and make it clean. And I said, but I don't want to lose my crowd. And I said, I'm just going to make a clean version of volume number 8 so I can keep it going. So then I gave her 10 tapes. They gave me the money up front. I'm like, and that was COD. That's when I first found out cash on delivery. Even though I was doing cash on delivery in the street. But I'm like, okay. Right? So they said, we'll call you maybe next week. They called me 2 days later. Well, not called, because back then it was pagers. So they paged me. And then I called back, and it was like, we need 15. I'm like, what? So then, next thing you know, they was like, we need 25. Then in my pages started getting all these weird numbers. Petmos, Parties, Boogie Shop, Max Records, George's. I'm talking about, they were hitting me up. I wasn't going enough. They was like passing my page number around. So then, Tracks Records, Coops, you name it. All these people was reaching out to me from out west, out south, and I'm like, wow. So I'm going back and forth on the bus, doing whatever I had to do, and I bumped into Ray Barney, and he said, you can't keep up with me. Anyway, he said, I want 50. He said, but I want it for $4 if I buy 50. So I'm like, okay, I'll do $4. But it took me 2 days, so I'm like all night with 2 double cassette decks. And then I used to actually take the labels, write on them. Then I used to take clear Scotch tape and put it around the tape, making it look good so it wouldn't wear off. And then I literally wrote on every insert, like I did that. And I was packaging up like that, selling it like that. So I was going out south and out west like this, out south and out west like that. So I bumped into Ray. Ray, when after I gave him the 50 tapes, he was like, he gave me $200. I'm like, wow. Right? So, and I'm young back then, I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this could be pretty good, right? He said, you can't keep up with me. I normally buy them by the box. So I'm like, how many in the box? Then he said, 250. I'm like, oh my God. Like that, right? And he said, well, look. He said, I bumped into this guy, with audio video technology. He owns his own plant. and all that, Jordan. And he said, you can be the first one doing the type of style of music that you do, but for more professional. But even though I technically was already first because no one else was doing it. The only person that even came close to it around at that time was Dion, because his tapes had reached the West Side, right? So, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of our history gets a little mixed up because it's like we from the same city, but it's two different sides of town. So it's like we didn't really live on each side of town. It's like we didn't really know the full history. But the whole point was, but like I said, I did my research at that time, and it wasn't who was the first on that. It's just that it happened that way. Yeah. But Ray was like, you could take it a step further, and then he pulled out a color shell tape like this, right? And he said you could be the first, but I'm gonna pull it back out with color shell. I'm gonna pull it back out. He said color shell tape said you could be the first one with the type of style of music that you doing to put it on a professional mass production scale. So I'm like, whatever. So I did Hot Mix 9, didn't do it. Come to find out, Ray was asking, I don't know who, he said he was asking the other DJ / producers to do this with him. No one was doing it with him. So then when I got to Hot Mix 10, I was watching Bill Bellamy on BET when he did the joke booty call. He's like, is that not a booty call? Like, oh my God. So I put it in the mix and I said, man, this I'm gonna go ahead and do it big. You know, so I had a little intro, explaining the phone call, did a whole skit. And then I did a release party at the Austin Town Hall out west when I had brought the tapes out and I sold them that day at the event, and then I took them to all the record stores you know, the next day. I think that was Saturday.
It was color coded by then?
It was color coded.
Okay.
So this was the first one. The first color shell tape, Hot Mix 10 booty call. So so that kicked it off, and yeah, but I didn't copyright the song, and it's a long story with that. I don't want to get into that. It's kind of nasty, but I found out the reason why I didn't supply the demand, and I found out other reasons why the guy ended up doing it. So, you know, at the time when me and him saw each other, we just had a few words, and I just walked off. But then I found out the rest of the story. I was like, oh wow, and I didn't know that. So it's like, it wasn't really his choice, you know. It was like a force type thing, and I found out the whole story. But either way it go, what that taught me was whether supplying the demand or not, or if someone gets forced into a situation to use someone else's song, whatever the case is, copyright your song. So I've been very anal, excuse me for saying that, like with my paperwork ever since. You know, crossing my T's, dotting my I's. You know, and then, of course I didn't have things perfect, but I was pretty sharp, and by me being sharper, it kept me from getting screwed, or screwed worse, that per se. You know, don't get me wrong, every record company, everybody, they are investors. They're gonna make money off of you. That's not an issue. I understand the concept. If they sign with you or a license agreement, anything, their job is to make money off of you. That's not it. It's just that while you're making money, I want to make money too. You know, that makes me feel comfortable, to where as though I don't care how much you would make. But now as times change, now it's like, yeah, I want more and more and more and more, and I'm getting older, and yes, I want it all. But I still would deal with investors because I understand the concept. You know, hey, let's all make money together. You know, it is what it is. But you know, unfortunately, some of the companies were railroading us and other people. You know. You know, I mean, and then some of us, you know, we had better situations than others, you know, but at the end of the day, it's a culture, and I love what we did in the 90s, and I love what we've been doing sporadically with dance music, and some of the, and so we have to understand that we have to accept some of the blame on not giving the youth something to do, because we kind of like, even though we still was doing our thing, but as a whole unity, we pulled back. Like, yeah, you know, like Slugo, Tracks, Rashad Spin, and other people was jamming Gerald here and there, and other people was still keeping the flame going. Funk, and you know, so I'm trying not to leave nobody out, but some of us did pull back when we weren't putting as much music out, and then we weren't really there to teach the younger ones how to produce a certain way, even though they're going to come in and do their own thing, but we wasn't giving them structure on, maybe I see what you're doing, but maybe you should use a drum this way, a sound this way, and this and that. So, and then with we have to take responsibility even with some of the violence that's going on, because it's like we kind of like played a part, and we kind of didn't leave them nothing. So they were left to try to figure this out on their own, and that's why they gravitated to that type of music, because like that's all they saw. So they, just like we did, and just like the other rappers did, they talked about what they saw, but unfortunately they ended up glorifying it because they didn't have nothing else to grab. So we have to take a small part in it. So it's also, I'm proud that other people like Clint, Traxman, Slugo and stuff, it's different forms from Ghetto House to Juke or whatever, to that's kept the flame going. And what he wants to do is help revive Ghetto House, which we all still basically was doing, but the problem is we had unreleased songs, or we had plans, but it's like, but if we're not dropping it, just like I have unreleased stuff and I have new stuff that's coming out, but we still have to drop it. We still have to release it, you know. So that's one move he's making. One move, Dion, Clint, Trax, Jura, you know. We kind of like need to get on Jura a little bit, because he holding back too.
I'm gonna get up with Jura. I'm gonna go to his crib and interview him the same way.
Yeah, because we kind of like, oh yeah, Wax.
Right, I already talked to Wax. I'm gonna interview Wax too.
Yeah, you know, so we need to release this stuff, and you know, and I'm excited to see what this guy doing. So, you know, cause like I heard, excuse me, I heard some production you did on a house level, and this had some girls in there singing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I said, damn, that's hot. You know what I'm saying? So, cause you know, when I hear production on any level, whether it's house, rap, this, that, it doesn't matter. When I hear any producer do, especially with someone that we knew that came from my era, I'm like, it's hot, because you got some people that they'll knock you a little bit. Why are you doing this type of music? Why are you doing this? Like, hold on, we didn't abandon what made us. It's just that we have to do other things. You know, we have to try other stuff. You know, so I'm just letting you know that I heard that record. I was like, that's hot. You know, so that's all.
So if people out there who don't know D-Man in other cities and things like that,
our people, but man, look, I'm forgetting names. If I forget anybody, forgive me. Okay.
If he forgets you, we'll interview you. We'll write a list.
Man.
So if people didn't know who you were and they wanted to get to, like, okay, the record that describes D-Man, the biggest record DJ D-Man ever done, which record would that be?
Okay. Of course it would be Dookie Booty. It's the big.
You want to tell them how it go?
I gotta find my Dookie Booty, she got a big old Dookie Booty. I gotta find my Dookie Booty, she got a big old Dookie Booty. Dookie Booty, Dookie Booty. You know, then the rap version, which people don't really know, I'm only gonna do the first verse.
Okay.
This is DJ D, man, the one that made Dookie Booty. Let me see you bounce the booties. I like to have them big and round, jack into my funky sound. Ride me, baby, yo, don't fall. Let me bang them fucking walls. Move it, girl, don't stop until I see that booty drop. I'm from the west side of Chi-Town. I know ladies like the boogie down when you need some loving. Who can you call the original Mr. Booty Call? I love the party with them cuties. Let me see them Dookie Booties. You know, and that's another thing. Then when we rap and when we do stuff on that, we need to embrace that and promote that. Because how can other cities and stuff come in? No offense, we love our other artists, come in and do what we do with our music, and then when we jump out on a leap, whether it's with a rap artist or our own selves rapping or doing a little something in there, they don't play it. You know, and just like then, like how my Sailboat record, they didn't get behind that record, and it's like, how there's a major dance on both sides of town. So it's like we need to get up out of that, and it's not nothing personal, but you got to understand that, okay, yes, other DJs and other people on both sides of town, they did support the record, but you got to ask yourself, if you're one of the key players that people follow, you need to be playing that record, because the other DJs up under you is watching you. So if we the top people, we need to play each other's music more. If we're the key players, you know, and then it's just, you know, and then I understand everybody only has so much time in the party, and then we make so many tracks, and we do have to promote our own stuff. So there's nothing wrong with promoting our own stuff, and if we leave somebody out here and there, but years, you know, like, now that don't add up. Now I see some months or something go by this and make, oh man, I need to play this person right. I need to play that. You know, and just like, you know, it's just some more records, you know, that's did here, just like. And then I don't want to get into the political part about the radio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do that.
Right.
But just like the Juke, your boy, by Austin, whatever.
Austin Film.
Yeah, that, even though he's gonna do what he's gonna do with his numbers and stuff anyway, that's not taking nothing from him, I'm about to say, but how come as a whole in this city, we're not behind that record?
That's a big record.
And I don't have nothing to do with the production or nothing like that.
Me either.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to see it do good because it's still part of our culture. Yeah, it might not be this type of footwork. Yeah, it might only be this BPM. Yeah, it might not be this, but it's still dance music. It's all dance music.
From
it's
Chicago.
all ours. You know, so anyway.
So let's do another question. If people wanted to say if they wanted to find D-Man, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, how would they locate you or get in touch with you in case they want to do some work with you or something like that?
Well, they can look me up through Facebook, through Flip the Script, Entertainment LLC. It'll pop up. DJ D-Man 1 on Instagram. They can get in contact with me that way. Oh, also my email, djdman1@gmail.com. So those are the ways they'll be able to get in contact with me.
Okay, so if it's a young producer or DJ out there right now and they're looking at D-Man, they're seeing all these things that you've done, and they've been following your journey, what would be the one key thing that you would say, things that you didn't get a chance to say to the younger DJs back then? If one of the DJs were in front of you right now, the younger DJ was in front of you and said, D-Man, I need your help, what do you suggest I do in order to get to where you are today?
Number one, I will teach you about copyrights, protecting your music. That's number one. Then I will teach you about protecting your brand, promoting your brand. And then I will teach you about, you know what, it's okay to do your own production, but pay attention to people that's been doing it before you. And then when you do learn a game, not only not forget where you come from, don't think that you're bigger than the people that were before you.
To get you in my famous book of signees. She was short on 10. I didn't even know we did that with DJ yesterday. So what I need is the famous DJ D-Man signature that you would sign like on a shirt or anything like that, and then I need your to print there.
Print like that?
Yep. There you have it. DJ D-Man. It's in the book. It's in the book. It's the DJ Slugo. There you go. It's the DJ Slugo co-signed album. My man just co-signed me. Shouts out to DJ D-Man. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you. And don't forget, this is the man that made Dookie Booty. This is the face with the name. All right? Salute.